Lately, I've been using Tailwind CSS and Next.js for all of my side projects, and yet every time I'm always forgetting how to set them up. So I wanted to make a quick video and walk through how I set up my project, and hopefully that'll help you out. Links to this code will be in the description, along with other repositories and resources that I found helpful. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started by using create next app. So we type in npx create-next-app, and then we'll give our project our name. In this case, I'll call it Tailwind Starter. And we're going to go ahead and let that finish. That's going to install Next.js and all the packages it needs to get started, including React. Awesome. Now that that's done, let's cd into our project. And then now we're going to install Tailwind and all of the packages that it needs. And we're going to go ahead and install the latest versions of all of these. So that's Tailwind, Post CSS, and Auto Prefixer. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is use Tailwind's init command. So that's npx Tailwind CSS init -p. The -p is going to initialize a post CSS config file. And there we have it. We have a Tailwind file and we have a post CSS config file. Now the next thing I'm going to do is actually make sure that this project is using a newer version of Node. In this case, I have Node version 14.15 installed on my computer. So the way I do that on my setup is I create an nvm-rc file and my project will automatically use that whenever it's running Node. So let's open up nvm-rc. And the reason I'm doing this is because in the past, I've run into trouble with Tailwind, specifically at the build step. If I'm using an older version of Node, I'll start getting weird errors and it won't actually build. So now that we have our nvm-rc file set up, the next thing we're going to do is head into our Tailwind file. And for the purge key, we're going to want to make sure that Tailwind knows where it can purge the Tailwind classes that we're not using. That's going to be at pages. And then I'm going to tell it to get rid of anything with JS or JSX. If you're using TypeScript, you'd want to add TS or TSX here. And normally in my projects, I also have a components directory. So I'll go ahead and add that as well. Now we should be able to get our project up and running at this point. So let's make sure that's running. Okay, so I'm going to head over to our index page and I'm going to remove all of this markup because I'm not going to need that. And then we can get rid of this as well. Okay, so right now we're not going to have any Tailwind classes, but just to double check. Okay, nothing. So the next thing we need to do is import our Tailwind classes. Now I like to do this actually in app.js, just import Tailwind, but there's actually another way to do it and we'll cover that right after. And there you go, we have our styles being applied. Now importing it in JS is a great option if you don't plan on adding any custom CSS yourself. But if you're going to add custom CSS, you can go ahead and add Tailwind in your CSS files. Now this global CSS was created for us by the next starter command. So the other way is to use @Tailwind and then import base, then components, and then lastly utilities. And we can remove this and just keep our regular CSS import. And now if we go back after our project finishes building, we should have Tailwind ready to go. So there you have it, a fully set up Next.js and Tailwind project. The code for this will be in the description and I'll catch you in the next video.